Hey, welcome back, guys. Robert, Rule of Two Review here, and today, still waiting on my Watch Dogs for Wii U. So first off, you guys are watching some awesome footage of Donkey Kong Country Returns for the Wii. As you can imagine, I'm pretty stoked for Tropical Freeze to come out in just under 2 weeks' time. So due to that buzz, like I've been doing for a few other games lately, I've been kind of going through the original, or quote-unquote original. You can't really call Donkey Kong Country Returns an original, but it's the one on the Wii, made by Retro Studios, that is the precursor to the upcoming Tropical Freeze. So that's really exciting. Tropical Freeze looks so fantastic, and if you haven't played Donkey Kong Country Returns, you are seriously missing out, because this is one fantastical masterpiece of a platformer. One of the best-looking games on the Wii, and just one of the most fun games I've had. One of the most fun times I've had playing any game in many, many years. So if you haven't played Returns, definitely go back and play it, and hopefully you're just as pumped for Tropical Freeze as I am. Alrighty, well, there's been a lot to talk about in the realm of Watch Dogs on the internet lately. There's been a lot of controversy and some good and some not so good things coming out regarding Ubisoft, the title, the whole trademark debacle, all that good stuff. I even had to make and post 2 videos in the same day about that exact topic. And one of the things that was kind of relating to this, it was kind of a rumor that started a few weeks prior and still was being carried forth through the whole worry and concern over the trademark issue, and if people thought Watch Dogs might have been canceled outright, was that potentially the Wii U version was going to be canceled. That was going to be really devastating to me, because I am a Wii U gamer first and really, really excited for Watch Dogs as a title, let alone to play it on the Wii U, where I personally believe it is going to be the superior version. However, that doesn't really seem to matter at this point anyway, because what was confirmed today is that the game is still coming out, only that it is going to be delayed. So I kind of wanted to just take a few minutes and touch on this topic, because since I spent so much time on Watch Dogs a few days ago, and we've been reading about it so much on the internet the last week or so, I kind of wanted to at least, bring up this news. Like I just said, the Wii U version is the one that I'm going to be playing and really excited for, and I was going to be absolutely crushed if it turned out that game actually was canceled, and honestly really angry too, because that would make no sense. So it's interesting, because people are sort of debating, of course, why this is happening. This is the whole question. Is it happening because they're struggling to get the game working on the Wii U in time? Is it because, sales for the system were admittedly slow for a while until recently? Is it because they were considering canceling it and then decided, not to? Or did it have to do with the trademark thing? Who knows? I mean, there's so many different things going on with this. I can only imagine that I think it's got to be a combination of the fact that the system was selling slow for a while, but even less than that, which I know most people would probably attach themselves to that being the reason. I think it could even just be the fact that hopefully they're just programming that game to run more optimally on the system. There's 6 versions total. There's the 2 last-gen versions, PlayStation 3 and Xbox. There's the 3 next-gen versions, PlayStation 4, Xbox One, Wii U, and there's the PC version, which you could arguably say, depending on your PC, is also next-gen, but PC rests in its own realm. And on top of the PC resting in its own realm, the Wii U also exists in its own realm, in that it's such a unique architecture compared to the other systems. We've got the two Xbox systems and the 2 PlayStation systems, and I think that they're similar hardware, only beefed up for their respective versions, and even between them all, much more similar than what the Wii U does. I believe the Wii U even uses an optical proprietary disc format compared to what the other two use, which is Blu-ray. And so it's just, Nintendo's always been that way. They make their own thing away from everybody else. It's both a blessing and a curse. I see it as more of a blessing, but there are times where it certainly, creates roadblocks for things on Nintendo systems. But because of that, I know that, you're programming the same game for the PS4 and the Xbox One, and you've also got to do it for the Wii U. You've got different architecture to work with compared to the other two, so I understand that it can be harder to program for, or even different. Usually what we saw this with the Wii, and I think we're going to be seeing it a little bit more going forward with the Wii U, where the same studio will put 2 different teams, one on the Nintendo version and one on the other two guys' versions, because they have to program them so differently. And even more to that point, of course, is the big X factor, and the reason why I firmly believe the Wii U is going to have to be the superior version, is the gamepad. This is a game that is an open world hacking related scenario. You are in this future where you are using, mobile devices and touchscreen devices and phones and all, and the futuristic tech around the world to manipulate things, hack into systems, reprogram and reroute information, and control people. And hello, the Wii U literally comes with said device. The fact that we're going to have basically the device that the character, and I know his name, but I'm just brain farting it now because I haven't thought about Watch Dogs in a while till lately. That character is going to be keeping a device on him probably to do all of these different things. And the Wii U gamepad is going to be that exact thing. So it's going to make you feel much more like you're in that world, in that character performing these tasks than the other versions. And it's why, I can take this back to the other tired debate that I've touched on a few times and everyone's talking about nowadays anyway. And it's the next gen conversation, what qualifies as next gen, of the three, does the Wii U qualify for next gen the same way the other two do, and blah, blah, blah. And, you could make arguments on all sides, and that's fine. I very vocally and proudly rest on the side where the Wii U is just as next gen as its two competitors, the PS4 and Xbox One. It's obvious to me, in my opinion and in my world, it's kind of daft not to even see it that way. However, we live in a world with a bunch of stubborn people who don't really see it that way because they just don't educate themselves, so they don't see outside of their own box. So because the Wii U, to me, the Wii U is, and this applies to Watch Dogs, so bear with me for a moment. The Wii U, one of the ways that it's next gen is the controller. I talked about this on my Nintendo video recently when they had their financial earnings investor meeting, and they talked about the future and focusing on the gamepad going forward. So whereas you look at Watch Dogs and you look at the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One versions, of the console versions, I'm going to exclude PC. Of the console versions, they're going to be looking the best probably. And that's fine. That's great. They have... Of the 5 console versions, that is going to be the number 1 and 2 most powerful system, producing probably the number 1 and number 2 best graphics for that game. That's great. Awesome. Good graphics are always important in their own way. And Watch Dogs looks like it's going to be a pretty game. And the better looking it is, the more interesting the experience could certainly feel. So those are next gen. Those versions are next gen in the sense that they're going to be the 2 best looking. However, the Wii U, while it's probably going to be the 3rd best looking because it is still next gen in terms of power over the previous gen, it also has that controller. And this is a game where that controller is going to be very specifically and purposefully utilized in the best way possible. It is literally going to be why Watch Dogs was made, was to be able to do the kind of stuff the Wii version will allow you to do. So the Wii U version is going to be next gen because the Wii U offers the next generation in control. That is a form of next generation evolutionary technology for gaming. It's not just the chipset's more powerful, the motherboard is bigger, and the games look better because we have better particle effects and better polygons. That stuff is wonderful, don't get me wrong, but that's not where, and I'm repeating myself here from another video, that's not where the next gen conversation ends. If you think it begins and ends with graphics and textures and all that stuff, you're an idiot. I struggled to even say it out loud, but you're just an idiot. It is not that way. Yes, it is a qualifier and it does count as next gen, but it's just not the only thing. That is the case that I'm making. It is not the only thing. And what the Wii U offers is the next generation in control technology that the other two simply don't. The Vita is awesome, but it does not count. For many reasons that I won't go into, it simply doesn't count. So removing that aspect, the Wii U version of Watch Dogs is going to be, it's like the platform a game like this was actually made for. And so taking it now even further back to the whole reason I'm even talking about this in today's video is I really have to think that Ubisoft is just using this extra time to make sure that this version is correct. They've got to reprogram all sorts of cool things to take advantage of that controller, and I think it's going to work out in the long run. There's a negative side here, of course. Well, there's 2 real negative sides. The first one is just personal for me and anyone else who's waited to play the Wii U version, which is we have to wait longer. So that sucks. The game has been like in development hell, you could almost say, for the last year or so, with the whole delay and all these different, controversial rumors about why it was delayed, some good, some bad, then the trademark thing, then we still didn't know when it was going to be coming out. It should be noted that through this confirmation of the Wii U version being delayed today, they did confirm that the other 5 versions, PS3, 360, PS4, Xbox One, PC, those will all be coming out before June. So that's good news. For anyone else waiting to play that game on those other systems, it's not too far away. At least we now have concrete information it's going to come before June. So that's within the next 4 months. That's great news. And I still maintain, despite my personal affinity for the Wii U version, I just believe in that game, period. I mean, it's going to be great no matter what system you play it on. Last gen, next gen, PlayStation, Xbox, PC, whatever, man. That game is going to kick ass regardless, So anyway, it's been confirmed that those versions are coming out before June, which is soon. So myself and the other Wii U gamers who want to play that game on the Wii U first, we have to wait a little bit longer. And we don't know how long we have to wait. It would have been nice if maybe they could have said, before October. So we would have known it would have come around August or something, maybe at the end of summer, which would be totally fine as long as we just knew. But we don't have that. So we're waiting. That's the first downside. The other downside is, and this is where people make a lot of mistakes, when it comes to Nintendo system, with last generation and now kind of with the Wii U, this is a good example of this, is you can't do something like this. And then if you run into issues where it seems like the Wii U version maybe didn't sell very well or people didn't really seem to grab onto it, you realize that Nintendo and the Wii U itself didn't put this game in that position. If it comes down to it, Ubisoft, you'll never watch this video that I'm making, but still, I'm going to talk to you anyway. Because I do love you guys at the end of the day. So you are in danger of putting yourself, not Nintendo or the Wii U, but yourself in the position where the Wii U version is not going to sell well. And if that happens, you cannot blame Nintendo or the Wii U for this. Okay? If you're going to give 3 or 4 months extra lead in time for 5 out of the 6 versions you're making, obviously, a lot of people who might want to play the Wii U version first might say, fuck it, it's already on the PS4, or I already have a PC, and I don't want to wait another 4 months or even, a nebulous amount of months. You haven't even told us how long we're going to wait. So because people might not want to wait or even just, wonder when that date is going to be announced, they could very easily go and pick up one of the other 5 freaking versions you're making available first. And so, that's no one's fault. I wouldn't fault anyone who wants the Wii U version, but by the time the game comes out, they say, man, screw it. I don't want to wait. I'm just going to pick it up now for the 360 or whatever. I'd say go for it. You're stupid not to, because that's going to be a great game. Like I said, no matter where you play it, so you might as well play it first. I and a lot of other Wii U gamers, sure, we're dedicated to the platform and we know how great that controller is. And so I'm very happy to wait for this version, but a lot of people might not be. So it's very, very unfair if it comes down to this and you guys look at it this way. And you certainly can't use this to determine how and when you make games for the Wii U going forward, because if it turns out to not be successful, it's going to be your guys' fault. So I just hope that you're going to be ready to take that blame, but I don't even know why I said that, because I am all but sure that you won't be. So that brings me also to kind of my last point, which is my overall feeling on this is that I don't really mind this. Mostly because it's kind of unfortunate it's because of this, but since we had a scare about a month ago where the rumors were flying that the Wii U version was going to be canceled outright, I am just really glad to get confirmation that that's not coming, that's not happening. I would have been so angry, and like I said, my soul would have been smashed if that was the case. So I'm glad I still have my Wii U version to look forward to, and because I have that to look forward to, I'm taking this overall as good news, with other circumstances, I might have initially just been straight up angry, but because, like I said, it was almost seeming like it was going to be canceled, I'm just glad to know that it's not. I still believe in the version that it's going to be the best. I am keeping the faith and trusting Ubisoft that they're only delaying it to make sure that the Wii U version of the gamepad usage is going to be the best it can possibly be, and show people why the Wii U matters for next gen, because it can do things that its competition can't. PlayStation 4 and Xbox One cannot do some of these things that the Wii U can do. Just like there are things that the PS4 and Xbox One can do that the Wii U can't do, or the PS4 can do that the Xbox One can't do. I mean, there's 3 systems with 3 different capabilities, so we shouldn't be dividing it into these 2 versus this one. It's really all 3 versus all 3, and they're all part of the same gaming space anyway. So anyway, my point is, I'm not sad. I'm just glad to have it confirmed. So, whether it's in June, summer, late summer, Christmas, I don't care. As long as I get my Wii U Watch Dogs, I'll be a happy gamer. Okay, that's it for today, guys. I hope you enjoyed the Donkey Kong Country Returns footage and all the Wii U Watchdog news for today. Of course, if you like what I'm doing, please feel free to subscribe, like, and share the video, and share your comments and your thoughts below. Thanks as always for tuning in, and I'll catch you next time.